Chelsie, and I'm here to talk to you all about a couple different pieces from one chapter of my dissertation on this species, Mauritia flexuosa, which is a palm that produces fruit that's commonly harvested in the Peruvian Amazon. I'm going to give you a little bit of information about this palm so that you all can also be excited and a little bit concerned about this study species. Most of the trees in this image are aguaje, Mauritia flexuosa palms. They form these dense stands all throughout the Amazon, not just in Peru, and a really important source of food for a lot of different animal species. They're also harvested, you can see, I think, this guy up in this tree, and the fruit is sold in markets of larger cities and provide a very important source of income to a lot of people in these communities. Some of the species that rely on this fruit are endangered, like this red ricari species, and other species like this tapir are also an important source of food or culturally important for the communities in the forest. The market is huge. Hundreds to thousands of these sacks of aguaje are coming into cities like Iquitos in Peru, which has a population of 500,000 people, every single day. So a lot of fruit is being harvested. Most of that fruit is harvested by cutting down the tree. And this is not very sustainable in many different senses because the tree is long-lived and slow maturing. So it takes a while to start producing fruit, and then once it does, it can produce a lot of fruit for many different years. As you saw in that other picture, cutting down the tree is not the only way people can harvest the fruit. There are climbing methods, but they aren't commonly adopted. So what I did is I went down to Peru for my dissertation research and started interviewing people all along the market chain to try to understand what decisions people might be making that would impact the harvest of the species. And I'm going to share just a couple little pieces with you today. One is that this whole region in the northeastern Peru doesn't have very many roads. So in order to get your products to the cities, you have to bring them there by boat. There's large cargo ships that go up and down the rivers, and they kind of pick up products at all the different communities along the way. This big arrow shows the direction of the ships, and as they're going along and picking up fruit, they become full. And then they reach this line, and anybody past that line can't get their fruit onto the boat. This was dissertation work by another person who conveniently did it in my study area. And if you draw out her map with my communities of interest, this is the area. Iquitos is the city where the boats are going. These are the communities that harvest aguaje, hundreds of them. And these 23 harvest 90% of the fruit that comes to the city. Here's the big arrow, there's the line, and you can see past that arrow, there's very few communities that are contributing a large amount of fruit. So accessibility seems to really important in who is actually harvesting. The next thing is that I asked consumers, are you worried about the harvest of this fruit? And 66% said yes. But when I asked why, they gave me lots of different answers. And so not everybody is concerned about harvest because of conservation. Some people are worried about the livelihoods of harvesters. Climbing is dangerous. Others are worried about the quality and sanitation of the food coming from the forest. The next thing I asked is, would you pay more for fruit that was climbed? And 73% of people said yes. That's very exciting. However, this is what we call a stated preference. People say, I'm going to do this, or I would prefer to do this. And that's not always the same as revealed preference or what people actually do. So there's a little bit of more work here to figure out what actually people would do if they were given the choice between buying climbed fruit or buying cut down fruit. The next thing is that I asked every single stakeholder after the harvesters how this fruit is being harvested. And what I found is only about 20 to 30% of people within every single group said that it's harvested by cutting. And my dissertation research showed that probably about 99% of the fruit is being cut. And so there's a lot of misinformation. A lot of people think that it's actually being climbed, that the trees are climbed to harvest the fruit. So I'd like to conclude with just saying that it's really critically important to talk to the people who are involved in the harvest, distribution, and consumption of natural resources to get a full picture of what's going on and also to understand how we can get into that system to intervene for conservation. Thank you.